Let's go.
They say we already know who's going to the Super Bowl.
Man, we already know.
Meet me in New
A
Orleans.
lot of KC fans in here tonight.
In the Nolan. In the Nolan.
Louisiana.
Yeah, Louisiana.
Wheezy F, baby.
Hey, they better hope they don't get some snow.
For real.
Seriously, coming off of what they just got.
Yeah, they had, what, 10 inches?
That would be all bad.
Yeah, that would be all
Pause.
bad when you don't plan for that.
Yeah, they got
Coming to you live from the Sit Your Ass Down studios. Welcome back to the Me and D Monday Night NFL Wrap-Up Show. I'm your host, David Johnson, along with
Dave Jr. was happening.
What's happening. We
What's
along
happening?
with
Boy,
AM and a PM, Dre in the house.
AM in the PM, Dre in the house.
in
What's
the
up?
house.
What's up? And CC is on
In the
assignment
house.
tonight. Corey Card, the kid, is on assignment.
The kid.
He's doing a little reconnaissance work for us, getting ready for the
Yep.
Super Bowl. So
Mm-hmm.
he's away doing some other things.
Some business.
Right off the rip, fellas. So we know coming off championship weekend, we've got the Eagles will be taking on the back-to-back defending
Back-to-back.
champions, Kansas City Chiefs.
Back to back.
Overall impressions of both games, and we'll start off with the Philadelphia versus Washington Commanders game. I put it, first note I wrote is Philadelphia put a Mississippi mud stomping on Washington.
A Mississippi.
A Mississippi mud.
mud.
This was about in the third quarter.
What did JR say? He just stomped a mud hole and walked it dry. Like, for real. I was like, dang.
That was a
that's the-
Mississippi mud stomp.
Mississippi mud stuff.
They
For
don't look
real
cool.
though. Yeah, so the game, now that's the performance that we expected to see, because that's why I think we all went with the Commanders, because they had a lackluster performance against the Rams
Mhm.
But
And
wait,
Green
but-
Bay.
and Green Bay. So it was
Yep.
just like, okay, they didn't really emerge themselves, but they little brother, though. Big brother, little brother. So they actually like, and Saquon Barkley.
What can you say?
Man,
Saquon Barkley. He could have got that record.
he phenomenal. Yeah.
He would have got the record.
He would have got
Still
that
would've
record.
would've
gone
got
to
the
Super
record.
He
Bowl.
probably would have blown it out because
Pause.
pause. He would have got the record.
Yeah, he definitely would have.
He would have got the record.
And I'm talking like 2 or 3 attempts. Like he wouldn't even took. He would have been out
It would've-
before the second quarter.
But it was just like what we said. He was capable of bursting off one or two of those long 60, 70-yard
He does
runs.
it every game.
And he would have had the record.
He does it every game.
And you won't be able to duplicate the season that you had. You just don't. The likelihood of going back to
Right.
2,000 yards is not very
Season
likely.
Yeah, this was the season to do it.
This was
because
the season to do it.
everything
Less than 100
changes.
yards away or 101 yards away.
Mhm.
Should have done it. We'll skip the game for just a second because I had a question later on. Is it too late for the Giants to fire Joe Shane? And I had that in my notes, Dre, before you sent that information.
Low down,
Man,
dirty
just watch-
Shane.
Just watching that game last night, if I was Mara, I would have been like, you know what? I change of heart. We can keep Dayball. I already stated that, but Shane, you gotta go.
You got to go.
That clip resurfaced where he was in his office asking his son, "Who should we draft?" His son trade up so we can get Jaden Daniels. But
He sure did.
They still got a good pick with Neighbors. Neighbors was phenomenal this
Neighbors
year,
is
but
a beast.
But wouldn't
he
you
took-
rather have your
A
quarterback
already
Yeah.
set
Yes.
down.
Start with the quarterback. So don't get me wrong, Neighbors, like I said, phenomenal. But if you ain't got no quarterback, you really ain't got nothing. It's like
Right.
you-
Who's going?
you-
He can't throw
gonna
the
give him
ball
the
to
ball?
himself. Yeah. Who's going to get him the ball?
exactly.
No, is it too late?
It's not too late.
I don't think it's too late.
Tampa
But
just fired their GM last week.
you might have to put him on suspension or something without pay.
Nah, dude.
Because
that clip,
that
like
was the biggest
Dre said, the
fumble.
man told him 2 times in that one show, if there's any way we can keep him, he said, let's figure out a way to make it happen. Then in the second time, he mentioned
I'm
it,
gonna lose sleep if he leaves and goes to freaking. He probably got a
which
good
means
night's
he
sleep.
won't be sleeping the rest
Bro,
these 2 weeks
he
leading
has
into the Super Bowl.
nightmares. He has nightmares.
Literally,
If
it's
they
it's
win the
haunting
Super
him.
Bowl, can you
Oh, they're
imagine?
gonna be. He's gonna shit a brick.
He-
That gut feeling of. Oh, I mean, I
Man.
like that. Like I messed up. Like
Your
I
heart is in
really
your
just.
stomach,
Yeah, like
and-
the sunken feeling is. Oh, I messed up.
and it's one of
they-
those ones you can't fix it.
Yeah,
That's the sad part.
You couldn't
You
keep him for
cannot
13
fix it.
million, man.
And
You
you
couldn't keep
still
him for
gotta pay
$13 million.
Daniel Jones? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that organization is just dang. That's
Who's
just weird
actually going to be? That's going to be the quarterback for
for the Raiders
Minnesota. They're
or
going to let.
Minnesota.
I think they're
Sam
going to
Darnold,
keep
he's
Danny
a free agent.
Dimes.
Yeah.
They're going to let Sam Darnold go in free agency and sign that huge contract. He'll probably be the one D that goes to the Raiders.
And try
Oh,
to
Sam
have,
Darnold.
try to
Yeah,
have
Sam
some faith,
Darnold.
some faith with JJ McCarthy going forward. I think the long-term game plan is obviously going to be with Danny Dimes. I mean,
You got a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
You might as well take advantage of that contract, build around him. Obviously, they saw something in him that they like where he was going to be the starter had he not gotten injured in training camp. So
he probably
just
gonna
to
come
circle
stronger,
back,
put more weight on him, and then he's going to be ready for next year.
yeah, he'll be ready. He'll be ready. So going back to the games, fellas, you had 6 touchdowns between Jalen Hurts and Saquon. That's crazy.
That's insane.
Your 2 top dogs,
Your
which
2
you should
top
be.
dogs,
Your quarterback and your running back.
Yep. If that's the kind of offense that you
Yeah,
run, and we've
yeah,
been waiting to see that out of Jalen since
For
the
a minute.
last Super Bowl. Truthfully, they had a
Honestly.
good season last year, but they took a dip, losing
Mhm.
both coordinators on offense and defense. But we said it around week, what was that, 8, 9, maybe a little later, that Philadelphia was playing the best, and everybody still kept hyping up Detroit,
Mhm,
and we
mhm.
were like, I'm seeing that it might be Philadelphia. That's the team to beat, I think. And we won't do our predictions to next week, but I think Philadelphia is the better team.
No, they are the better team. I would say.
And I think they were the better team when they originally played.
They were the better team.
But they're better this go round. But we'll have to see.
They don't have DeAndre Swift and Miles Sanders, so that's already a plus one. They got somebody who can definitively run the ball and can.
That's a home run hitter.
But their offense was still good. They were throwing the ball a lot more when they
That's
went to that Super Bowl. This year, they're running the ball a lot more. That's why Jalen Hurts had such a great year that year they went to the Super Bowl, because the offense ran more through him as far as throwing the ball and rushing. Like I think he was one of the top rushers on that team too, because as far as the tush push pause and just the runs he would have, he had a great season. But now you have a running back that you can just you don't have to put your whole offense just through him.
Right.
You got like you said, you got a home run hitter. Give him the ball and he can do. That's less stress on the quarterback, and that's why you can allow Jalen Hurts to have these type of games. And when he's not feeling the best, it's not all on him.
Right.
Just give it to Saquon.
Yeah,
that's all you got to do.
I prefer you give it to Saquon because he's built for this.
He's built for that. He protects the ball better.
Yeah.
I'll say that O-line straight, they'll be down the field blocking. They go into the secondary level, just continuing blocking downfield for him. And he don't really need it because he got that burst and that speed. But you just see once he gets past the linebackers, he's gone. Can't nobody catch him. The safety's like looking like, damn, I blew that coverage. And it's just, man, he's phenomenal.
And the way I'd really love to see him used in the Super Bowl is run some screen plays with the man.
Bruh, get him out in open space.
Get him out in space.
Let him catch.
Yep, and let him catch and get that. He's got a clear field ahead of him. They're going to have to come up and get him. Man, if he breaks that first level of defense, he's gone.
Because you're going to have to put a linebacker on him.
You're going to have to put a spy
on
on him.
Linebacker, I'm taking Saquon all day.
I know. And then you got Jalen. He can throw the ball down the field. He even showed yesterday he was not afraid to throw the ball down the field, which really hadn't seen him do. He was more over the middle. But he was dropping,
airing it out.
He was airing it out. So
he makes them perfect passes. And
he's a good.
I'm not even gonna say that even Jaden Daniels had even played a bad game. It was more so his team let him down too, as far as even with that Austin Eckler fumble, and it was just some other stuff that that was just untimely, and their O-line wasn't really stopping no pressure, so it always had him scrambling for quick check down. But Philadelphia, that defense, they're calling them the second Legion of Boom. Essentially, they just hidden. You got Jalen Carter,
and they hit hard
Jordan
too.
Davis,
they don't play.
Cooper DeJean. They bring some fire. So I will say, if you have a good defense, that also helps on the long run. Because then you already know we're gonna have our offense right back out there. And then we started to see freaking the Commanders. They wound up punting the ball yesterday. That's when I knew they was like a tough stuff. I'm like, okay. If they gonna be punting the ball,
because they weren't punting the ball early at all.
I swear, I was like,
they weren't punting the ball at all.
I ultimately knew the Eagles was going to win, but emotionally, I was like, Jaden Daniels is really on his side right
They were hot. They were the hot team.
they were hot. So
And
like
we were going
that,
with the storyline. At least I know I was. I
And then
wanted to get that
that's what I was
first
gonna say.
Jalen
quarterback,
Hurts was
rookie
banged
quarterback.
up. Like he didn't really know the status of that, and
He took that knee brace off before he even went after that first possession.
Yeah,
So
he
it's
didn't
like,
even play with the
that's
brace.
what I'm saying. I'm like, okay, he was trying to pull a fast one on us, but yeah, Kansas City gonna have that coaching, but like you said, it's gonna come down to that bronze too. You know,
man,
who gonna be who is what willpower is gonna overpower the opposing team essentially. So
55-23 was the score.
man,
But they had a 50.5 burger.
50.5
They put up
burger.
a 50.5
50 burger
burger
is
on them.
crazy.
55-23. I mean,
Not even like
and it was
close.
a ball game in the first quarter, first two
yeah,
quarters. I would
yeah.
say
two quarters.
first
After
half. I
that-
guess for the first half it was a ball game, and then it just
And then
got
when
reckless.
I might say that when they got that score, I think it was the score, AJ Brown before half, I think, and then I knew they was getting the ball back, so I was like, that's not even a good look. You know, you already down. I think it was like 15 points, and then they about to get the ball back again. So I was like,
Right.
man, this about to get real ugly.
And it did. Might as well just go through the stats real quick. Let me see. I got them right here on the other page. As we already mentioned, they ran for 3 touchdowns apiece. Jalen Hurts, 246 yards in the ground and a touchdown. Saquon, 15 attempts, 118 yards. He would have got that record, man. He would have got the record.
This would have
3
been a story.
touchdowns. Go ahead, D.
And it was against the Giants too.
That's what I'm saying. This would have been
Exactly.
a storybook season. Like you get the rushing record, you do against a team that did you dirty, and you go to the Super Bowl and have a potential of beating the defending champs. All in this would have been one.
Oh my god!
This was the way to do it. Yeah.
You got to win the Super Bowl.
Only
now.
thing to save that is like you said, they got to win the Super Bowl
to justify that.
You got to do it just for Saquon.
Yeah.
And they say he's the ultimate teammate, very unselfish, very professional, puts the team first at all costs, which obviously he was willing to do to not break the record. You know, He didn't whine and bitch and moan about it.
No,
it's not about me.
Right.
As long as we get this dub and we get this ring, and
that's how you want it to be, though.
That's how it should be, and they got to do it now. We'll move on to the second game. 32-29. Kansas City figures out a way.
They do it again.
They figure out a way. Let me ask you this real quick, because I don't know if the man
figuring out the way or if it was the Buffalo Bills just not executing to their full maximum capacity, because we kind of knew what KC was.
I think it was a little bit of both.
That's what I'm saying. It was like, man, they even stopped running with James Cook. They started throwing out the running back 3 out there. I'm like, what is going on? This is what we similar talked about with the Ravens last week.
Yep.
Okay, you guys want to put Justice Hill out there, stop running the ball, maybe start throwing it more downfield, and that wound up costing them in the end. It's like James Cook, I think it was like 4 or 5 yards a pop that he was, running basically the
he
whole
was gashing
game.
them.
Yeah. And they were struggling trying to contain him. And then you just get away from that. It's damn. You can't get away from the bread and butter thinking you're going to have some success.
The bread and butter.
He only had 13 attempts and still rushed for 85 yards and 2 scores. I mean, he was getting them. That's what I didn't understand, because you had plenty of time on the clock to continue to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
When you got the ball back after you held Kansas City, to 3? I think that's when they got the field goal, if I'm not mistaken. And they had 3:35 left on the clock and 3 timeouts, and they couldn't get down the field. When they were prior drives, they were getting the ball down in 2 minutes or 2 to 3 minutes.
Right.
You had more than enough time to get down there and at least tie the game, but I think you would have won the game if you just would have moved the ball. Now, everybody wants to talk about the 4th down call. That was prior to. They got screwed a couple times.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
No, they did. The refs again. Implement their way.
I saw it early in the game when they punted the ball. I saw it where they clearly ran into the punter, because I saw him go back. He got hit. And I'm like, okay, there's going to be a flag when they come back from the commercial.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing. And I'm like, okay, here we go already. But that 4th down call where the one ref said it was a first down, the other ref said it wasn't.
Same page.
We all saw it, though. We all saw it.
I phoned a friend.
And that's where I go back to the eye in the sky. You got to have a referee that can overrule all the calls and say, "Hey, in real time." Now he got it. He got over there, and of course they pushed him back. But come on now, there's a chip in the ball. I didn't even know that. They said there's been a chip inside the ball for the last 4 years. So they actually got the technology if they really want to know if the ball gets across the plane or not. Now, like they said, you wouldn't know if a knee was down or the player was down by contact, but that's what you have the eye in the sky for. But if the chip that's telling me that ball crossed the plane, let's use that technology. What are we saving it for?
They got the hidden collar where if your dog go across this invisible line and get shocked,
it's the shit shocked out.
Right. I'm not saying you shock the ball, but it should be a sensor being like, okay,
just beep. Yeah. Yeah,
like,
you can hear it in the booth. You can hear it. Yeah, you can see it on the scoreboard.
Something
you can see it on the scoreboard.
Oh no, it went off because you know what I'm saying, and I guess they don't want to do it to malfunction. But that's when you could use both the old school and the new technology, so you can actually get a full decision to see where if you need some more evidence, you got more evidence to be like, okay, we did the pylon and went over, and it beeped. And we see it on the camera,
right? And the eye in the sky, right. he sees it. Yeah. We've ran it back. New York's run it back. Somebody ran it back.
Somebody got to like.
You got
TiVo.
Four different.
We all saw that was a first down.
That was a first down, and then we also saw that the play that Worthy caught the ball, he stripped it away from the defender. The tip of the ball hit the ground. That should have been an incomplete pass.
Yeah,
they turned around and scored off of that. It's just little things. It may not be the play that hurts you, but it's one of many that just adds up.
Yeah,
one, it deflates you as the team trying to beat the Chiefs, and it just gives them more momentum. Yeah, it keeps their drives going.
What I was confused was like, okay, they challenged the ball, but the challenge seemed like it came real late, so that was confusing. But Kansas City also ran like a little jet sweep, and before they came back, I think it was like a jet sweep. Then they came back that next play and said, hey, we're going to challenge this ball. So technically it was supposed to be second down after they came back, and they basically got, at least from what it looked like, they basically got 2 first downs and then wind up, scoring after that.
At the end of the day,
it was still Buffalo's fault. Don't get me wrong.
It's Buffalo. It was their game to win. It was their game to lose. They didn't come up with the big plays. Kansas City ultimately did. Samaje Perine. Where'd he come from?
They got so much depth.
He catches
he does more than really just with them little ding and dong plays.
Man.
Like they got the depth at running back, the depth at receiver.
Where's D Hop been the last 2 weeks?
Wait to the Super Bowl. Waiting for the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
I guarantee
he's gonna make.
I need to see.
You need to see if there's a prop bet for him to get an anytime touchdown.
I need to get on some. What's the
Prize Picks?
Yeah, Prize Picks. D Hop getting a catch in the Super Bowl. I would bet money that he will. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put a little 10 on it.
Or a first down.
Or a first down.
First down or a catch.
He mess around, has a game winning.
I guarantee he might get a touchdown.
I would put money on it.
They're probably drawing something up for him right now.
You forgot about him.
Literally.
Where has he been? I haven't seen him during the playoffs.
I haven't seen him at all.
I was catching more balls than I'm like, what
Juju comes out of nowhere with big catches.
But Xavier Worthy was looking like the number one.
Yeah, he was.
They were treating him like the number one.
Yep. But he was making some big plays too.
Yes, because
they didn't do the little end around that they typically do.
Dude, that 4.21 speed or whatever you got is dangerous.
I was surprised to see them fumble a ball when I guess it was supposed to be he was like, I think he was going to hand it off to Kareem Hunt, or maybe he was supposed to keep it. Either way, it was just that miscommunication that they had.
Was that their first turnover in 502 plays?
Yeah,
something like that. 500 plus plays.
11.
Yeah, that was their first.
I was about to say they don't turn the ball over like that.
They don't turn the ball over very much. Not at all.
There was another one I forgot. I could have sworn where I think they were supposed. It was like, I don't know if it was third and long, but the Buffalo Bills, they threw it to, I think it was either Knox or Kincaid. But then it looked like he stretched out and got the first down. But I think they called it, he was short too. That was another one of those controversial ones. I can't remember specifically, but I remember that. So it was a couple of those sketchy ones where you're like, okay, they at least could have like you said, they need to call New York. They need to figure it out. Man,
Get somebody and
they just
get
screwed up
somebody
like
else
3 times tonight.
independently. Yeah, on that play. And speaking of which, and I got to blame Joe Brady for this. He insisted on fourth down. Well, it wasn't even fourth down. I think they started on second down, but he kept trying to do the tush push
Oh my
instead
God.
of, why wouldn't you do what Tom Brady used to do? Just take it to the A gap or the B gap.
Mhm.
He'd get his first down every time on fourth down.
Or take
And
it a
it's
little
just
outside.
just
or
simply find one of the gaps and hit it and get your first down. You're trying to go underneath
in
everybody
the middle, like
in the
and if you
middle where
don't-
everybody's piled up.
And y'all not getting no push off the ball. That was the
That's what I'm
most
saying. It's the push.
Y'all freaking
It's
Chris
only getting
Jones
no
over there.
push.
It's like the wish push, push push.
The wish push.
And we got the whoosh push. I
Y'all ain't-
wish you would.
but you're not pushing nothing out the way.
It was
Like-
nothing. I'm
like,
like, they did
no.
it 2 times in a row. And you know how
Go over
they
there
used to
and
do the
come in.
one little play where the quarterback would pop up real quick and throw
And
it.
then, oh yeah, yep.
You
Fake
do
like
that
you're gonna
one?
do that and throw it.
Do something different.
The Drew Brees where you hop over that mug.
He did do that one,
I'm about to
but
say, yeah.
he almost lost that
Yeah,
one.
he did.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
I'm
he
not
almost
saying
lost that
turnovers
one.
on downs. You know.
Drew Brees was good at that.
Yeah,
Drew
he
Brees was real
was.
good at, and especially on the goal line, he'll literally do it real quick and protect it.
And bring it right back,
And
because
bring
all you
it
got to do is
right
cross
back.
the plane.
Mhm.
That's the
Yep.
that's
That's where that technology
that
comes
little
in.
sensor. That's the little sensor.
So again, we know how it sets up, and next week that's when we'll give our picks, and we'll have a whole lot more conversation
game.
on both the Eagles and the Chiefs. But 2 good games, though, all in all. Well,
Yes.
I'll say one decent game played very well by one team,
Yeah.
and then you had a classic. The
A classic.
last 3 games, listen to this stat. Last 3 games, Mahomes 9 touchdowns, 4 sacks, 1 turnover. Josh Allen 9 touchdowns, 4 sacks, no turnovers. And he's lost all 3 games
That's crazy.
in the playoffs. That's how evenly matched those teams are. But when it comes time for them to get the big play, there's no team like
It's
them.
like your cousin that you can never beat in Madden.
Oh.
You just got
You
that.
beat up
I
the
got
whole
him.
time and still come
You just
You
every
fumble on the
Christmas,
goal line.
every time you think you gonna get him, and he got you. It's just
Take it
like,
on some
dang, like
catch
we
just to
evenly
come at you.
matched.
Yep.
We are evenly matched. I
Throw
just
a
can't
pick
get
at
you.
on the last play.
Man, you
Pick
just can't
6.
get him.
That's hilarious.
My question for us, why do we get sports fatigue, whether it's for a team or a player? Why can't we enjoy greatness?
Yeah, because we always root for the underdog. I think, dang, unconsciously, we don't want somebody to have that much success. I think
Haters.
it's real. I
Hater
like-
in the house.
It's
It's
like we
bothering
wanna
me
be-
too much.
It takes a lot for somebody for people just be happy for somebody genuinely when they have more success than you. I think that's why we get fatigued a little bit, because it's almost okay, well, he got to lose now. Because honestly, that's where I'm at with it. I really respect Patrick Mahomes and what he's done, especially, you know what I'm saying, brother, you know what I'm saying, and making history. It is nothing that he does what he's supposed to do. He's good. He's
He
an
never
overall
gets in trouble. His
thoroughbroad
family members
athlete.
get in trouble.
His
Yeah.
family members
But
get in
he
trouble.
don't get in
See?
trouble.
Like,
See?
I
He
mean,
might get robbed.
he might get
House
robbed,
broken into.
but he ain't doing no robbing.
But he didn't do no robbing.
But I think it's that. I think it's like low key. Like, people are haters. People are haters. We don't like to see. Okay, man, we wish you good, but we don't wish you that good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I just think it just comes from just. I think if it was a franchise that had the history, then it'd be a little bit different. Just them winning in this short amount of time is really just throwing people off. Like even
And
Because it
Kansas
just came
City.
out of nowhere.
And
Yeah,
it's
it just
Kansas
it's
City
like
Chiefs.
it's almost a thing. They,
Right.
they're
Like,
like
what?
they're basically a small market team if you really
Yes.
think about it. Like,
Basically, they are. Yeah,
are
if you look
small.
at it,
If
yeah,
they
they
didn't
are.
have,
but
they
I mean,
just
now they've almost grown to be America's team. Nobody even give a damn about how much money Dallas Cowboys are making because they just too dumb, can't figure it out, can't get anything right. It's okay. The Chiefs might take over. Seriously, they might take over, and people are starting to care a little bit more about them. Then they got Taylor Swift, which is adding to the fandom, and all this Caitlin Clark, freaking, she's a Chiefs fan. Like all this, they just keep adding all these
Right.
storylines basically, and
Kind of like they're adding celebrities like Dion adds celebrities to the
Mhm.
Buffaloes.
Yeah,
And it just
literally.
brings, you can't help but to root for them. It's must-see TV. Whether you like them or not, you're going to tune in to either watch them lose or you're a true fan and you want to see
love
them
'em.
win.
I still go back to all the Rams fans or fans in Missouri who've jumped on the bandwagon.
Oh my god!
Sit your asses down. I can't stand
They
that.
are the worst.
I'd love to ask you, okay, tell me some players from the past, and when they can't tell
Oh,
me past
man.
Alex Smith, I know you're a bandwagon
You're not no true
jumper.
Chiefs fan.
Yeah,
Now,
you're
shout
not
out
a
to,
true Chiefs fan.
Big Philip Cooley. He's been a Chiefs fan since Kansas City Royals, Chiefs fan. So I'm happy for him and fans like him who like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? People who went through the trenches and were rooting for him when they were
rooting
trash.
for him when they weren't anything.
Nah, he was
when
a
the
big
Rams
funny-
were here and they were still rooting for the Chiefs.
Yep.
Right.
I can respect that fan here in St. Louis and throughout Missouri, but
It's a
for
Missouri
those
team.
ones that just jumped on since Mahomes and Andy Reid got
Man.
there,
Sit your
I'm
ass
not
down.
hearing it. Sit your ass
Not at
down.
all.
Because
Sit
who were you
down.
rooting for before? Because Kansas City Chiefs have been there since the 60s. And a lot of these people didn't even know that. So
Have you been there since Super Bowl III?
Damn.
they have, yeah.
No, I'm just saying. I'm like, fans, have you been there since Super
Oh,
Bowl
no,
III?
I got
You
you.
know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? For
I thought
people
you
who
said
been
they've been there since Super Bowl III.
If
But
you was there, like with Tony Gonzalez, you know what I'm saying? Priest Holmes, Trent Green.
if your daddy knew
Yeah,
Lynn
Trent
Dawson
Green,
back
Trent
Like,
Green
were you
went
there?
to Vianney.
But I can't, because I am rooting for Philadelphia because I do want to see.
I want
some new-
Jalen Hurts to get a ring.
I want Jalen Hurts to get a ring.
I'm just going to
And I
be
think this
real.
will
Yeah, he
cap off
definitely-
Saquon's season too as well. But
Saquon deserves it.
but I can't hate on that man Patrick Mahomes.
If
man.
they
Like,
do the
he's a
three,
dog.
and can't even call it a three-peat because I want Pat Riley to find me or come at me and try to get some money. He did copyright that.
Oh, the three-peat?
He patented the term three-peat after the Lakers won the back-to-back, back in the late 80s, 90s,
Maybe
whenever
Pat
that
Riley's
was.
the problem. Maybe that's why Jimmy Butler shouldn't leave.
I guess it was the early 80s.
Just to send indefinitely today.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's insane.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more, D, because we've been on this since he first was suspended originally.
The
And
first
we said,
time.
and remember, I said it's coming to this. It's going to be a showdown where they're going to say we're going to just suspend you indefinitely, and
You
that's
can't
what's
be bigger
happening.
than the franchise, though. That's what it
No,
comes
he
down
just
to.
walked out of practice today.
Because they
Idiot.
said you coming off the bench, and that's just, man. It's like you can't be bigger than the franchise. But I understand the frustration. But
Moving on, my next question is still Kansas City related. When are we going to start calling Andy Reid one of the best coaches of all time? Because
I've been saying it.
he's got to get his due now. His
No.
second act has been brilliant since
Yeah.
he's gone to Kansas City.
yeah,
He wasn't shabby in Philadelphia. He was
No,
getting them
not-
to conference
at all.
championships
Mm-hmm.
and even got them to the Super Bowl. They lost to the Patriots that one year when T.O. was on the Eagles,
Right.
if you remember. And him and Donovan
Absolutely
McNabb
do.
were about
They
to
could have won that.
box.
Yeah.
But he just ran up against tough teams. He never could get him over the hump.
Mm-hmm.
Took a little time off, went to Kansas City, and man, just the way they dial up plays,
Their play
Just-
calling.
play calling is tremendous. And the way they scheme for you, if you notice, they were killing them on the side. All Mahomes was doing, he was going from left side, right side, left side,
man, there was
right
open
side.
space right there.
Yep, and then he'd just catch Travis over the middle. Then we'll go left. I'm like, man, am I the only one seeing this? I'm not at the stadium.
Yo, what's the defensive coordinator doing? Is he not
Right.
recognizing
Bobby
this?
Like,
Give him
man,
for the
step
little-
up. Don't give him so much cushion. That was the
They
other
gave-
thing.
They gave him a lot of cushion and they were down. One of their DBs went down. What's his name?
Bernard, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
I
one that
think-
had the
yeah.
concussion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
he got the
concussion.
Right.
concussion.
Now,
Yeah,
that was key,
concussions.
too, because once he went out,
They started attacking.
they
him.
started attacking that
side.
side.
Yep.
But
They had
it was
attacking.
crazy.
No,
But
Benford,
we got to
that's
start
what it is.
giving Andy Reid his due.
Absolutely. I'm a
I
big
mean,
Andy Reid fan.
I think everybody think he's goofy because he likes cheeseburgers and
Them cheeseburgers.
do.
Yeah, I'm about to say that bundle of Ruski steak.
I like Andy Reid, man. Man.
Just hearing his. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think he's using that Philadelphia like that. That probably hurt him with how they did him. It was like So now he's using that as like a chip on his shoulder, and he's just making them pay for it. Even the Bills, they passed up on Patrick Mahomes in 2017.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Then they passed up on Trent McDuffie in 2022, and now they passed up on Worthy last year. So they low-key digging their own grave.
They traded back, didn't they? I think I heard they traded back. They could have had Worthy at that spot.
Yeah, and so
that just goes to show too how well the Kansas City scouts.
Coleman. It's you really doing this to yourself. Maybe they thought they couldn't utilize him in the offense or whatever, but they
didn't think he was worthy. Xavier? Nah, I don't think he's worthy.
He's not worthy. You're not worthy.
That's his last name. You don't.
There was something else I was gonna say about Andy. Oh, just his post-game speeches. How humble he is. Like he said, yeah, it's nice to talk about winning 3 in a row, but the focus should be about winning the ball game, period. It don't matter if it's a Super Bowl, if it don't matter what you're going for. We're just trying to win the next game. Whatever the next game is, it should always be that simple.
That's the philosophy I'm bringing in.
Yeah,
we're just going to win the next game.
We're just going to win the next game. We're going to prepare and win the next game.
That's how you should, yeah.
And I feel like
it starts with coaching.
Yeah, they're always a couple steps ahead though. Like when some teams are playing checkers, they're playing chess. They're literally scheming up. So like they just scheme that up, and then next thing you know,
Chinese checkers,
and they playing Connect 4
at the same time.
Call of Duty, like you got all the games, whatever you want to play.
And dominoes and spades.
Uno out.
They got 5 games going, and Jerry Jones is looking for the instruction.
And he like, where am I game at?
Oh, what was
he playing rocks, marbles.
But I got a message to the Saints. Your coach in waiting just displayed their play calling ability. Kellen Moore for the Eagles. The plays he was dialing up for my man Jalen Hurts yesterday was amazing. And Spags on defense, the way Spags was drawing up that defense, especially late, it wasn't giving Josh much time. He couldn't even get the ball off. And they're talking about Kincaid should have caught the ball. I didn't even know where Josh Allen was throwing it, truthfully. I didn't even think there was a receiver in the sight for him to get the ball to. So for him to get the ball that close to Kincaid, I can't fault Kincaid for missing that. And
they said he was playing with a torn PCL or something, so he was already like giving it his all.
Then you shouldn't have been on the field. You know what I'm saying? If you're restricting us from winning, you should have been on the field.
We need somebody who's 100% right now.
But going back to the original Saints, you got your coaches. You got a couple good ones right there. Mike McCarthy's still out there, and he still got who's the other one that's still Brian Flores too. I wanted to bring this up. Right. He's being blackballed, literally. Just the experience he has with the Dolphins or had with the Dolphins before he was fired. He's filing a lawsuit against the NFL for their hiring practices, and you would have thought the way
he's in that Gruden situation essentially. It's the lawsuit out.
You're not gonna get no job.
You're not gonna get a job.
Head coach, not no head coach.
In circles, they've said this: whatever you do, don't hire this man.
Right,
and he's literally being blackballed. The way he resurrected Minnesota's defense this past year, that dude is worthy of a job
for sure.
May not be Xavier, but he is worthy.
Xavier. But the NFL and the owners are in cahoots. There's in politics, like you just said. Whoever's the NFL and the owners are like, do not bring. You can have him. I guess Minnesota. You can have him as a defensive coordinator, but don't have him as your head coach.
He cannot be a head coach in this league until he either drops his lawsuit,
right,
or whatever happens. But we either settle the lawsuit or he drops the lawsuit. Until that point, he can't have a head coaching job in our league.
I'm going to say, you just know the NFL always wants to be right no matter what it is. So it's whether it's even a CTE, not CTE, but like cases with that, whether like Rooney Rule, this or that, they just always want to be in the right. Broadcasting rights, whatever they do, they don't want to be on the bad end of the stick essentially, because they keep their name essentially good graces or whatever. But like you said, I do think he's worthy of a freaking head coaching job. But if you got Matt Eberflus going to Dallas as a DC and Dennis Allen going to Chicago as a coordinator. Like, why can't he get a job? These guys that have shown that they don't know what the hell they're doing, but they still in these coaching carousel year after year. But you got people who's actually worthy of a job. They won't get no looks. Like we said, Eric Bieniemy. I think we were talking about that earlier this year or last year. Where was he at? And they kicked him to the curb in Washington, and now you don't hear nothing about him as far as getting a job anywhere.
No, he got fired from UCLA.
And he volunteered.
He volunteered, and they let him go.
But I'm here just to help out. We still gonna let you go.
You know what, man? You don't even have to come back.
But you're not paying me. We don't want you on the premises.
You don't even need to take his key card.
Oh yeah, with the parking pass and the meal plan.
Take the key pass to the. You need it here every day but Sunday, like it's SEMO back in the day.
Right. Yeah, he every day. Wasn't that the thing? Like, they didn't have meals.
Yeah, we had to eat. We had breakfast and lunch, but after lunch, man, you were through for the day. That was some hard.
You gotta make it
send money quick.
Just enough.
Man,
I'm gonna study for these finals. I
don't even understand how we even did it back in the day. It was almost like prison.
Right.
Like after about 2:00 when they shut it down, that was it.
You just sleep all day.
Man, sleep away the hunger.
Right. Just I'm just gonna get my rest. I ain't hungry.
Just drink water all day. Just fill it up with water. So we'll go through the vacancies real quick. All but one, as I mentioned, have been filled. Mike Vrabel took the Patriots job. Aaron Glenn got the Jets job. Congratulations to him. Ben Johnson took the Bears job. Saints still open. Jags did hire you, boy. Dre, Liam Cohen, he hid out. He did the okey doke on him. Pete Carroll took the Raiders job, and then Brian Schottenheimer was named the coach of the Cowboys. So all those jobs have been filled except for one. But the way Liam did it, I was reading the quote from the wife again today, how I guess the son has an autoimmune disease. They were at the doctor's office. That's why. In Jacksonville.
Knowing Tampa got a good hospital down. You're
supposed to be back home to sign your contract. And they were looking for that brother for half the day and couldn't find him.
The way it just looked, the whole ordeal was just shady, essentially. Like, they was about to make him the highest paid coordinator.
He was the highest paid coordinator, yeah.
It just don't make sense. Honestly, wish him the best of luck. Hopefully next year he can have Trevor Lawrence down like he had Baker down this year. But I think it's going to be a long shot. I will say Brian Thomas Jr. is the one, though. So he got a nice weapon out there to throw to. But yeah, it's going to take a lot.
Did you think he would have been worthy of being the highest paid coordinator? I thought he did a decent job with Baker, but they say he's bounced around. He's been around quite a while in the league, and really, this was the first time he had really done something, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like
this was the best I've seen Tampa since Tom Brady left.
That offense was on fire on all cylinders. Like, as far as
especially
he had the offense going.
Missing Chris Godwin too this year. Like they still found a way to get out there and put some productivity up there. But
Mike Evans
was hurt quite a few weeks.
Yeah, he was out for like 3 weeks.
A lot of injuries and still was producing and still made that playoff push. So
yeah. But I don't know if I would have spent that bag on him, though. I feel like the money could have definitely – because we got a lot of interviews lined up as far as, I think, people from the Rams and a couple different organizations. So I think they would have been able to find somebody regardless. But
this just goes back to my statement about my man Flores. Having coached in Miami, Jacksonville would have been a nice transition. He's been in the league before, had some success. He's not unproven. We don't know anything about Liam Cohen. Don't even know if he can run the building.
Yeah.
Be the head of the coaches, being the head coach, people keeping that demeanor. And just
staff. Are you going to bring your own guys in, or are you going to just keep the people who's already there?
That's the thing. I don't even know. I don't know that much about him to know who's coaching tree he's a part of to even some of the fellas that he's coached with. But I don't know. I'm just skeptical. I hope he does well. I guess they'll be going to get. No, they're in the AFC. I keep wanting to put them in you all's
AFC
conference.
South.
They're in the AFC South, not the NFC South. All right, fellas. So we'll do our injuries next week, Dre, since that'll be right before the Super Bowl, because there's 2 teams left standing.
It's 2 teams left.
2 teams left. So, fellas, we'll get into our best bust and busters of the week, and then we'll have a wrap on this show.
Absolutely.
So, D, who's your best of the week?
I think I give it to him almost every time they play, but I'm gonna get to Saquon Barkley.
How could you not?
This is the reason why you get a running back of that caliber, and to think that the New York Giants couldn't spend $13 million.
What, about 2 to 3 million more than what you're paying them?
He's worth
2, 3 more just to have that caliber, and then you would have had Neighbors and Saquon, and then this year you go for a quarterback, then you're not in a bad spot to compete these next upcoming years, but that's just another conversation for another day. But the best, Saquon Barkley, man.
For sure.
Saquon Barkley.
And he's doing it at the right time, too.
This is why you get him,
This is when you get him. That's why you went to get Derrick Henry,
man.
Baltimore Ravens fans.
Come on now.
Dre, who's your best of the week?
My best, it'll probably go out to Steve Spagnuolo, honestly. The way he had
That's
that
good.
defense. I mean, they were struggling a little bit with that run initially. James Cook, like I said, he kind of surprised me what he was doing, but I feel like after they came back from that second half, halftime into the second half, he had everything figured out. He knew what they needed to do. He was acting like he was going to blitz, and then they go and drop into a zone, or he bring pressure, then they get flustered. Spagnuolo's that man as far as that defense.
I agree. Mine is going to go to both the Eagles and the Chiefs, or being the last 2 teams standing after 21 weeks of football. We got our final 2. I'm going to give it to both those 2 squads. Who's your bust, D? Who you busting?
Bust for me? Hey, you can come back to me.
All right, Dre, who's your bust?
My bust.
Well, you think I'm going to tell you all mine? I already told you. It's Joe Brady for the Bills. His play calling, when, like I said, the tush push wasn't working. 4th and 1, 4th and 5, 4th and whatever. You had some other options to go to instead of keep running the same play, getting that same result over and over.
Push.
Right, the whoosh push. I wish we would get
I wish.
All right, D, I come back to you. Who's your bust?
I would just have to probably say Buffalo Bills. That was their game to win. And that going for that 4th down that they didn't get because they rushed it, because they got the 1st down, then they immediately went to the line and then tried to do a quick little play, and they end up getting stopped. You could have just ran a regular play right there. But, I'll have to just give it to the Buffalo Bills, just because in the time when it matters, you can't beat the Kansas City Chiefs. You beat them in the regular season. This was your chance to get that checked off the list and go to the Super Bowl. But, I'm going to have to give it to the Buffalo Bills. Just they can't get it done when it counts.
All right, Trey.
Switch it up. I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. Like I said, they did get the new head coach, and they potentially bringing in Eberflus. But next year, they got to get Micah under a deal. Dak and CD already got their deal this year. So the cap hit is looking like they said $146 million, and that's with 3 pieces. They need a whole lot more than those 3 pieces to have some success next year. They're in the NFC East, so they're going to have to freaking figure it out. Philly's not slowing down, so
and the Commanders aren't either, though. That's the thing.
No, that's a young team.
Yeah.
Young team.
There's 2 teams right off the bat we know you can't beat.
Exactly. So
they're just getting better.
Definitely go out to them.
All right, and back to the Busters. Who's your Buster of the week?
Buster of the week and just Buster of the year is gonna be Joe Shane.
Good one.
You asking your kids?
Like, come on now. Saquon put the team on his back and it took them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And he is playing better than ever. That was just a fumble of just a player, a generational player.
Oh my.
And you're running my front office.
And you're running my front office. And you see, literally, you trade him and what he did to the Philadelphia Eagles, man. They make him a
rival. Like,
you gave him away, though. You let him walk.
Away,
you didn't get any pieces or draft picks.
Exactly. You just let him walk for nothing. And just someone of that caliber, you should have got the house for him.
And then you got rid of freaking Daniel Jones.
That's the part that still cracks me up.
So, the Buster of the year, of the week, especially this week, especially because
And it's on Wednesday.
the person you let go literally turned the team
Another
around,
franchise
and,
around,
and
yeah.
catapulted them to the Super Bowl, and that's the ultimate goal. Buster.
Gotcha. Dre?
My Buster, it'll probably go out to, I hate that they was putting it on McDermott, but I'm going to say Bobby Badgett's the defensive coordinator. They weren't really scheming up well as far as the Hamlin was out there, and then we saw Benford got hurt. Then they got the one guy, I think they call him Kaiir Elam or whatever, who they drafted instead of Trent McDuffie, and then people were just roasting him, the cornerback for the Bills. They weren't ready to go. I know they lost some pieces last year, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, but they could have done better defensively. They knew what they were up against. Even when Samaje Perine got that first down and basically sealed the game, I felt like that was almost like, okay, you didn't know they were coming back over across the field. The whole offense went around it, and he just dumps it off there and loses the edge or whatever. But I thought the Bills were going to be able to get it done yesterday, and they came up short.
They're my busters as well. This was the chance. You beat them in the regular season. You knew exactly what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
They had a couple of pieces back that they didn't have healthy, and they being the Chiefs before. But you knew the formula, and you were doing it. You were operating flawlessly through the first half of the game, and then the second half, you got away from what had gotten you there and what had sustained you. This is your chance. You have 4 opportunities now to beat this team. And I understand, like I said, it took Peyton Manning a while before he could beat Brady. And then once he got past him, then he was able to have some success. And maybe that's what's going to happen to Josh and McDermott. But till then, you're the buster of the week. And
but next time,
like they said, we can holler. But you might not get back. That's the thing. They keep saying that
next year.
The window changes every year because the rosters turn over every year.
Mm-hmm.
You don't come back with the exact same roster that you had the year before. That's
same record,
the one thing with that one thing that happens in football that's different from other sports. Some sports you can bring back the same exact team, but football you don't. This squad is different. Your 53-man roster is going to be different. Yeah. Coaching to be different.
Mark Hamlin's going to be out of there. He's a free agent.
Yeah, and like you said, D, the schedule is different.
Yeah,
so
your schedule could dictate. Okay, we can get some wins towards the end of our season, where the later half of our season is we can get some wins going into the playoff. Where next year you can have some stacked teams.
Right.
Those 1 or 2 losses are critical in football.
But they did play well down the stretch, so that's one thing you got to give Buffalo. They were pretty consistent this year.
They did.
But you don't know what that schedule is going to look like. And I can guarantee you there's going to be one team back, and that's Joe Shiesty and those Cincinnati Bengals. They're going to be back. They just missed the playoffs this year, and I guarantee you they'll be back next year. So anyway, fellas, man.
Like that catch by Matt Collins, I want to mention that, man. I will say, freaking Josh Allen just put that.
The throw was amazing.
Yeah, that catch was nice. I was like,
yeah, it was.
Tarzan, he came in that bud with no shoes on, and I forgot what he was wearing, but man, Tarzan, that catch was crazy.
That was nice. That was a nice play. All right, fellas, good stuff. Good stuff. We know who the 2 teams are. We'll come back with our Super Bowl preview next week.
Yes, sir.
And we thank you all for listening to the Me and D Monday Night NFL Wrap-Up Show. Till next week, we're out.
Peace.
Holla.